What are you doing? Okay, I think we're live. Technology. Come on, man. Let's fire this up and let's check this out. Okay, we are definitely live. So just gonna give this another minute so that the ads pop up before these things kind of tend to get in the way of things. So let me switch over to here, switch over to here. Excuse me. Sorry for the delay. Didn't had a few technical problems getting this up and running and started. But now it's all working. So welcome to the channel, everybody. If we haven't had a chance to say hello yet, my name is RevKev, and welcome to my Geek Corner. This channel is really just all about me nerding out and having fun with the things that I have fun with. So what I wanted to start doing here on the channel is I am going to, on Thursday nights, live stream me painting miniatures. I love, love, love miniature games. Now, here's the thing though. I, I love buying miniature games, and I love assembling miniature games, and I love painting miniature games, but I very rarely play them. In fact, I hardly ever play them. I'm currently playing Descent. Um, right now. That's the main one I'm doing. It's kind of an interactive dungeon crawl board game that you use an app. And so I've done some pictures on my YouTube channel here in shorts where you can see some of the pictures. One of the games that I have the most miniatures for is Star Wars Legion. If you're not familiar with the game, Star Wars Legion plays like a tabletop war game. So two players assemble an army. Every single piece of your army, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's a character, whether it's an upgraded weapon or anything like that, or force powers, all have a point value. And so the players agree to a certain point value, and then you start playing the game. And there's objectives and things like that. So I've got a ton of minis. And hey, Teresa, good for you. Good to see you here. Thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Hope all is well with you. And yeah, and so I've got tons of minis for Star Wars Legion, like right here in front of me. You can't see them because the camera's not facing that way. But I've got all my painted miniatures. I got clones, I got flankers, I got stormtroopers, I've got rebels. And then over here off to this side is where I have my non-painted miniatures. And there are a lot more non-painted miniatures than painted miniatures. I've got an ATST and a snowspeeder, tons of stuff from the Clone Wars, tons of stuff from the Empire versus the Rebels. So I really wanted to get back into painting regularly. So by live streaming this just holds me a little bit more accountable and just gives me a fun way to hang out with you and chat geeky stuff while I'm painting. So what I'm going to be painting tonight is I'm going to be painting Grandmaster Yoda. Don't know how often you can see these things. Hey, Ray, thanks for joining all the way from New Zealand. Great to have you here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm going to be painting Grandmaster Yoda. This miniature, so you can see how small he is compared to my thumb here. He's a very small mini. And what was crazy, crazy, crazy about this miniature here is to assemble Grandmaster Yoda. This miniature here is in 10 pieces. And the pieces, there were some extras depending on what pose you wanted to put them in. So here's Yoda's arm with a lightsaber. Here is a spare face. So again, compared to my index fingernail here, these are crazy small. And there were 10 of these to put this guy together. I don't swear a lot, but I was swearing while I was assembling this guy. So there's actually two different versions of Yoda. We got one kind of in this action pose where he's leaping into action with his lightsaber. And then we got another one, which really I find is reminiscent of Yoda when he was battling Senator Palpatine in the Senate building, using the Force here. So these are the two minis I'm going to paint. And while some things are drying on here. Well, maybe just for kicks and giggles, I grabbed Obi-Wan Kenobi as well, famous Clone Wars pose, and we'll might have to jump in from him while things are drying. And to do these miniatures, I'm going to be using Army Painter's Speed Paint. Now, these are a new line of paint. In fact, it just came out with a 2.0 version of it. These aren't the 2.0. These are the original speed paints. Got these for Christmas, so I've got a whole collection of speed paint. Got a few of the colors I'm going to use here on my desk, but I got a whole bunch. This is my paint collection here behind me. There's a whole lot of different paints back there. So I was kind of debating starting with something else that I was worried about screwing up, but I've been doing a lot of painting with the Descent board game minis, and they've been turning out fantastic with these paints. So I figured let's just dive right in. So we're going to start off. I'm going to do the main cape here first of Grandmaster Yoda. So Yoda primarily has two colors. For his cape, he's got a lighter outer coat, and then he's got a darker inner coat. And so I'm going to be using the sand golem for the outer and no, sorry, I'm going to use the sand golem for the inner color and the pallid bone. This is a nice, really just light brown its color. I'm going to use pallid bone for the outer cloak. Very important, very important to shake these up really well. They come with little ball bearings in here. Any sediment that builds up in the bottom, those will get shaken off there. And so let's jump right into it here. So let's put a few drops in here. One of the things I do find is occasionally, see, I don't know if you can see this here, but it just doesn't want to squeeze out because they get a little bit of sediment or something on the inside. I don't know if that's something that they were trying to correct with the 2.0 version of the paint, but so got this little pin that I keep nearby so that I can clean it up and access the paint. Whoops, and I just pulled the lid off. Figures. There we go. So now I've got paint all over my hands. That's why you always have a nice rag nearby. And now paint still not coming out. So this not a good testimony here for speed paint 1.0. That the fact that the very first color that I'm trying to use isn't even coming out. So what's going on here? Where am I stuck? Cleaning this all the way out here, so that's good. Pop that back in. There we go. Now we got some. And again, wipe my hands because I've got it all over me. Now, what speed paint does, let me show you this other miniature. You're not going to be able to see it. My cameras aren't good enough for this, but the reason it's called speed paint is because it does a lot of the shading for you automatically. So what you do is you just take a whole lot of it on your paintbrush and you plop it on, and you can see it's darker in the crevices of the pants and it's lighter in the raised areas. So, and it blends this, and as this dries, it gets really nice. And so again, you can see some shorts on my YouTube page here that I've done of other miniatures using this paint. And just for paranoia's sake, that it seemed like it was a little thick since it wasn't coming out of the bottle, I got some speed paint medium. So this is used to dilute the paint a little bit. So just put 2 drops of that in there. And then we give this a nice mix. And you'll see I've got quite a lot of it here on my paintbrush. And we just literally start to plop this on. Now I just realized I'm wearing the wrong glasses for this. This has been one of the things since I turned 50. Miniature painting has been a bit of a battle. So I bought these goggles off of Amazon. I think I paid like 30 bucks, 35 bucks for them. They're hideous, absolutely hideous, but man, they work great. So we put these on. There you are, Yoda. Now I can see you. And we just very generously scoop this on, being very careful to not hit one of the other areas that will be a different color. Now, the beauty of the speed paint, if you do hit an area that you didn't want to be that color, you can just wait for it to dry and then repaint it white and then paint it with the color that you actually want. Now, what I found is you really got to wait a long time for the original color to dry and then for the white to dry because these paints reactivate. And what that means is when you get them wet again, they could get soft and smudge on you if you're not careful. So, yeah, that's not fun when that happens. So here you can see, hopefully, let me just double check what you're seeing. You can see how the cape is being highlighted automatically with the speed paint. Again, you can't probably see the detail really well. When I look at it with my magnifying glass here, I see this really well. It looks fantastic. Like this color is pretty much what I would expect from Yoda's cloak. That very familiar cloak when he first appeared in 1980, Empire Strikes Back. And we just kind of slowly pick out the details. And again, this is what I love about these type of paints, whether it's something like speed paint or some of the other technique paints that are available, is the paint does the work, right? Like when people go, "Oh, I'm not a good artist. I could never do this." As long as you practice having a steady hand, and it's just practice really to get that steady hand. Um, the paint does the work. You don't have to worry about the fact that you can't draw or that you can't color or anything like that. One of the things that I've always struggled with miniature painting is I have a hard time just figuring out what colors go well beside other colors. So, but there's a lot of resources that you can use to help you with that. Like there's other amazing YouTube channels where you can learn and watch them paint their miniatures, or you can get an art book or a color wheel that helps you figure out spectrums and colors and complementing colors and contrasting colors and all that stuff that I learned in art therapy way back in college, and I don't remember any of it. Because I took a whole bunch of art classes when I was in college because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life back then. So I was doing a whole bunch of everything, trying to figure that out. And so just like this, I have already finished the first coat of Yoda's outer cloak. And this, man alive, it actually looks really, really, really good. Let me see if you can see that here. Okay. Right. So that's what I really love about these speed paints. It does all this shading for you. And now as that dries, it'll blend in really, really nicely. So I'm just gonna take this one off, set him aside over here, dry for a little bit, and I'm gonna take our force using Yoda, put him into my holder, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing again with that outer cloak. All right, just gonna check something here in the computer. Okay, I gotta lean a little bit more in so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Okay, and we just start painting. Again, I've got a lot of paint on the brush, and I just follow the lines of the miniature. Steady hand. Again, that just comes with practice. Sorry, the microphone here is getting stuck. Okay. Just follow like that. Now, I was going through, I've got two different kits. When you buy the speed paint, you can buy them individually, but it saves you a whole lot of money if you buy them as a kit. Where you get a bunch of paints together. So originally, I got the speed paint. I got like the starter set, which I believe came with 10 colors. So you kind of like your 10 main colors in the line. And then for Christmas, my wife got me the one of the bigger sets that came out with like I think like 20 additional colors in that set. Now a bunch of them repeated from the ones I already had, but it's good to have more because I can plow through these pretty quickly. If I actually painted a lot, then I would plow through them a little bit more quickly. Mhm. Okay. So again, hopefully you can see this here, how well this comes out. Yeah, if you find some areas are too thick, well, then you just go over it again. Take some of the paint off, wipe it off of your brush, and just pass over it. A couple of these areas here have a little bit too much paint in it, to my liking. And this is what's crazy about this miniature here. Like you saw how small it was. This one as well was the raised hand. This one was in about 9 pieces as well. And the detail, again, you'll never see this in this YouTube video here, but the detail on his face. Like his eyes are closed. He's got that Yoda grimace that he's using the Force. Again, really reminds me of when he was battling Count Dooku and he was stopping the kind of the big metal thing from falling on Obi-Wan and Anakin. He had that face when he's using the Force. It's exactly the face that this miniature has. Oh, so I hit the inner cloak a little bit, which I'm not worried about with this miniature because that inner cloak is a darker color. So it should be fine. Just cleaning up a couple of areas in here. And touch up again. Well, hopefully you can see this here. You can again see all the details that are coming into it, the highlights, the folded down hood. Really turns out fantastic. Love these paints. Really do save so much time. It's not having to go from color to color to color and blending it and things like that. The reason why it's called speed paint, it gets you painting fast so you can actually play the games. Okay, let's let me take that Yoda off. We'll put him over there. We'll bring the other one back. Now it's definitely not dry yet. Definitely not dry yet, but I can definitely see already how it's blending in a lot better here, smoothing out as it dries. So while that's drying, let's jump in and do the green right away. Now, I was going through the colors that come with it. So here we got orc skin, but I'm just afraid that that's too dark because Yoda, he's green, but when you see a lot of the stuff of Yoda, especially digital Yoda from the prequels, and since this is prequels Yoda, he's got like some yellow tint in him. So I was debating doing a mix. Now these do mix, and so you can mix colors and create different shades. I'm not really good at that because, like I said, I have problems with seeing the color. But I think if I take this orc green, this is a good shape here, and then I take a couple of, maybe 3 drops of that. See, this is a really bright Christmas green. So I do that, take a couple of drops of the medium to lighten it down that way, but then put a drop of Zealot Yellow in here. So I was kind of checking that out. I was just kind of wondering, would that just make it feel a little more Yoda-like? So let's just mix this up. And if I don't like it, well, then I don't like it. See, again, it's awfully like just like Christmas tree green. So let's put a couple more drops of the yellow in, just for fun, just for kicks and giggles. as I like to say. Hmm, let's do that. A couple drops of the medium. Now we've got way more paint in here than I could ever possibly use to paint Yoda. It's still very, very, very green. So let's before I paint it and regret it, let's do an experiment. Okay. Because there are other shades of green. Maybe these other greens will look a little bit more Yoda-like. So we've got, what's this one? Plasmatic Bolt. This one's very dark. Let's see if I put it here, you can see them. So that's a very, very dark green. Don't like that one. I've got Camel Float. So this is like a camel green, probably. Not even, that looks like black almost. It says it's a green, but it doesn't look green at all to me, so I'm not gonna trust that. Um, where's my other one? Malignant green. It's more of a yellowish kind of green color here. So I kind of wonder if that's a little bit more Yoda-like than the green, green, green here. If I take that. Now, the thing is, if I really don't like it, I can change it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that light green, 1, 2, 3 drops of that with 1 drop of orc skin, one, and then a drop of my medium here, a couple of drops of that just to help mix it up a little bit better here. And then we'll the speed paint. Hey, Garrett, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Speed paint came in like a week ago. I'd recommend trying the slap chop techniques. Make very noticeable difference. The slap chop technique. I have no clue what that means. I will have to look that up. Not familiar with the terminology of that. But I appreciate you sharing the tip. I will definitely check that out. So again, so this came out a little greener than I thought, but put this on here. This is just really bringing out the details of Grandmaster Yoda's face and ears. And I'm trying not to hit too much of his hair because I do have a paint especially for that as well. Okay, well, this is looking pretty Yoda-like. It really is. The only thing I find with this, it's in the highlighted areas of the face, still a lot of white showing, so I may have to do a second coat after this dries, or just hit it with some highlights of another paint. Taking some of the paint off the brush, get the paint out of the eyes. It's a little bit too much paint in his ears, and it's running down his neck as well. So here we go. It's good for bringing out the details. I'm not quite as thrilled with the color, but it is working. Like I said, we're just going to really need a second coat after it dries. A little hand. Dang it, I just hit his cloak. Not the end of the world. You could just go and clean it up after. I just like getting it done in one shot, but that's just me. Tiny little hand here on the other side, holding his lightsaber. I'm just kind of doing the whole hand. I know he's got very big flaws at the tip, but I'll just go over those with white and then do a different color afterwards to make the fingernails on Yoda pop a little bit more that way. And then we got his feet here. Underneath. And I don't know if you can see the details of this or not, but there's a lot of detail here in the face. And these bead paints just sink really nicely into it. And again, you get a really nice tabletop quality. What I mean by tabletop quality is the miniature would look really good on the table with just one coat of this stuff. Put the one coat on, don't even need to highlight it, don't even need to do anything fancy with it, and you got a really nice looking Master Yoda sitting there on your table leading your clone army here. You can see that. It comes out really nice. So again, I'm gonna take a little bit more. Some of it's accumulating in his eyes here. So we just take the dry brush. And some of you are just really disgusted because you're going, why did you just put your brush in the mouth? One of these techniques you pick up that you just kind of quickly lick it so that you can make the tip pointy. Yeah, geeks are disgusting. I don't know why we do these things, but I saw someone do it once when I was playing Warhammer back in high school, and I've been licking my brushes ever since. Hopefully, it doesn't kill me. Okay, so let's take that one out. Swap the other Yoda to really get a second holder. The holder is really nice, especially for these little tiny miniatures here. Ooh, the brown here is really accumulating, so I'm going to take some of that out. Spread it around. But, um, there we go. Yep. Mm. Again, really appreciate everyone who stops by the channel here. You may not be aware of this or not, but I use the proceeds that I make from YouTube to partner with Compassion Canada, and we sponsor kids in Guatemala with the resources that we make here from the channel. And right now we're sponsoring two young girls, a 6-year-old and a four-year-old in Guatemala, and we're really excited about that. And so any super chats or thanks or membership all go to help with that work. So I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm actually hoping to get to Guatemala this year or next year to actually meet them because we're doing a number of projects there as well to help alleviate poverty in Jesus' name down in that part of the world. So again, appreciate you being a part of that work here on the channel. next. Okay, so I'm really trying to make sure I don't hit the cloak. And again, the details on this face with Yoda using the Force are really nice. So I'm trying to get a nice blend of the speed paint in there. And again, trying not to hit the hair because I have a special paint, surprisingly, that highlights white. And it actually turns out really, really good. It's called Holy White. I like the name. And but it really does a good job of blending in like a gray in between all the lines. And it looks really, really nice on the miniature. So the more I can make sure I'm not hitting any of the hair with the green. I mean, I can always just, yeah, wait for it to dry, then paint it white and then do it again, but I'd rather just get it the first time because I've been doing this for quite some time. My hands are pretty steady. The trick I find now for me with miniature painting, it's my eyes. It's my 52-year-old eyes that just make it a lot more difficult. Hey, Chris, great that you stopped by. Really appreciate it, man. Says, hey, Rev Kev, I love these live shows. Well, thanks so much. I'm gonna try and get doing them a lot more often. So it's good to have you here. Really appreciate all your interaction with the channel. It really means a lot to me. So here we got Yoda here. And then once I got more and more of these miniatures painted, again, this is what I said at the beginning of the video here, is I love these miniature games. I love collecting them. I love painting them. But I've never actually played this game. Actually, that's not true. I've played twice. I played Legion twice, and I really want to play it again. So I've got a buddy of mine who's very active here on my channel as well, Mark, who actually lives down the road from me here, and I'm gonna see if he wants to play, and we'll live stream this game together maybe if he's up for that. But I'd like to get a few more things painted so that they look really amazing on the table because I've actually made a really, really nice table based on the planet of Geonosis for the episode 2 Attack of the Clones. And it turned out really, really nice. I mean, I can give you a sneak peek of it here. I've done a video of when I made these years ago. But they're actually, I know, I left my brush again. Just right here. Get this out. Yeah, so basically made this out of foam and foam cutters. Um, put this together. So I've got this whole table with a whole bunch of these multiple levels. It's 6 feet, 6 feet, yeah, 6 feet by 3 feet table. Put this all on. Got clones and battle droids and Jedi. Oh, it's epic. It looks fantastic. I love it. And so if ever we get that to happen, I'll actually live stream us playing the game, get a battle report that way as we're learning to play the game. And here I got his little toes are buried here in the dirt. And if I don't get these perfect, that's okay. There we go. Yeah, the face here looks really, really good. Wish you could see the detail as well as I could here. I know you can't. And if I try to move it too close, it's just gonna be this big old blurry Yoda. It's kind of pointless that way. It'd be kind of cool if the camera then eventually just got smart and said, hey, let's focus on that. But it won't. Again, love these speed paints. Like, this is the kind of stuff that used to take days upon days to paint a miniature like this because you had so many different colors and layers and trying to make it look really nice. Like, you'd start with a base color and then a highlight color and a shading color, and then you'd pick out some details. And you always have to wait for each coat to dry. Now this paint dries pretty fast. It's dry within like 15 minutes, but yeah, to get it done this quick like that makes a huge difference. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sand golem paint and I'm going to use that to do the main inner cloak. A couple of drops of that. A couple of drops of the medium. Just thin it out a little bit. See what that looks like here. Give it a good mix up. Yeah, so I was saying the thing about miniature painting, it's not the steady hands that I have a problem with. It's the eyes. And that was why I was actually debating just completely giving up painting and giving up painting miniatures, but I actually really, really love this art style. I love the techniques of it. I love doing it. And I've been doing it for years and years. It's just been such a big hobby in my life for so long. I actually started painting miniatures when I started playing Warhammer 3rd edition. Like 10th edition of Warhammer 40K is coming out any day now, or just came out, or is coming out this weekend, I think. 3rd edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles is what me and my buddies used to play. We started playing in grade 10. And so that was a long, long time ago that I was in grade 10. So this color is oranger than I would have liked. So I'm not thrilled with this. Like, it's a lot oranger than I was expecting. I had done a test of it, and I don't like that color at all. So I'm just gonna stop there with that, and I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna swap out my other Yoda, and let's see if we got a better color here that we can use. Let's see, what do we got here? No, that's purple. That's the camel clone. Hardened leather. What would that look like? It's a little more brown. So what I'm going to do, yeah, that looks a little better. I'm going to test this out on my test rebel figure. So this is the guy I've been testing things on just to see if I like it or not. And, oh yeah, that's it. That's the one. That definitely looks like the color that a Grand Jedi Master would wear. Yes, if I compare the two here, you can see the, hopefully you can see the difference here of these colors, the brown versus the orange color. Definitely don't like the orange one. Okay. So what we'll do, did I say that was? No, wasn't that one. It was this one. Hardened leather. I got enough there, I think. I'm not going to bother thinning it out because it already came out pretty good already. Highlighting things. We'll do that. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Bryce. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by, watching me nerd out a little bit here on my channel. Keep getting my microphone stuck under the table there. It's like, it pulls on it. Oh yeah, this is significantly better. This looks way more like the proper color of Yoda's cloak. Again, so cool the way This is just mixing and highlighting and doing all the work for me. Yeah, I want to get a smaller brush to get into those detailed areas so I get a nice good line right up against the other colored cloak. Do that. Yeah, the other thing I find, since I've gotten a little bit older, challenges are on the eyes. And the other challenge is my back. Like, it's funny, normally when I'm doing this, my wife is just kind of sitting behind me watching TV. And she'll see me, I'll be like, oh, like hunched over, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I'm like, oh, like hunched. I'm holding these miniatures. I got them up in my face so I can try to see them and get my old eyes to focus on them. And she's like, does that hurt? I go, no, it doesn't hurt, but it's probably not good for it. So I gotta be careful that I take good breaks and I don't push myself too hard. Okay, let's find brushes here. Yeah, I kind of find a lot of my brushes are pretty beaten up too. I'm almost due to go buy a bunch of new ones. Hey Tim, thanks for stopping by, man. Good to see you here. Hope all is well with you. Definitely not, definitely doing something here. Definitely not just trying. I'm trying to get nice little tiny detail. There's this little collar that goes up against the green of Yoda's skin and up against the lighter outer cloak of Yoda's Jedi robes. So I'm trying to just get that without hitting it. Hi, I go. There you go. So I can't read the name here. I got now we're Oakwalk. Well, good to have you here, Oakwalk. Appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with me here. Okay, let me try to get a nice little line around the feet and the cloak that way. There we go. Hey, Bryce and friend Oliver. Great, good having you stop by, man. I got to green book with Bryce. Cool. Bryce is a good guy. Glad you're friends with him. Okay, there we go. Just gonna plop a little bit more paint in here. Bring out again some of the details. Gotta try to use the original color here because I missed a spot. Closer to Yoda's face on this side here, so cuts that up. Okay, that looks pretty darn good. I did. I'm getting stuck, man. Need to get my wireless headphones. I don't know where they are. And I hit the light float here with the dark, so I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry so that I can um, touch it up. And I do find with these speed paints, they take quite a while to dry, so I kind of have to give that the day to dry before I do anything with it. Like a part of me would just love to take this one, and you know what? We could experiment. Let's do it. Let's experiment. Okay, let's get that one off the stand. Put the Force using Yoda on here. Clean this brush. And then let's take this brush and let's take the color. Let's just go right over that orangey color that I didn't like. Where'd the leather one go? There you are. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that you love the content. It's really just my hobby channel where I hang out and geek out. That's really the point. See, so normally with these speed paints, they don't like it when you don't let it dry because then it lifts up the other paint. They call it a feature. They say it's like, oh no, we designed it to do that. We wanted it to reactivate so you could blend it. I feel it was a chemistry mistake myself, but hey, what do I know? This actually looks all right. Turned out pretty good. And the beauty is there's not a lot of it there, so I can just go and get the hips of it here, get the inside, get the collar. Again, definitely don't want to hit his face. Don't hit it. Again, that's where you just practice those steady hands. Nice. Okay. Again, I did hit the lighter cloak with the dark color a couple of places, so I'll let that dry and then touch it up that way. No. You're the best, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I appreciate you not lying. Thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you very much. That really made my day. Okay, so now this was the funky one. I was shocked that this paint actually worked here. This is thanks, Coping Lawyer. Great work so far. I appreciate it. Normally, like past people's comments, but because I'm doing multiple cameras, I'm using OBS instead of StreamYard, so that's why I can't invite people to join me or share when people click anything. Bit of a drag, but yeah, I know there are ways to do it, but I just haven't figured it out yet. So this holy white paint, actually, it looks like when you look at the tip of it, it looks dark. Like when you look at it there, it's like it looks like a black paint. But watch this. This blew my mind. When you take this and you put it on the back of Yoda's head, because it is so thin, the material just drips down into the cracks of his hair. And then the rest of it, it's a little gray, but when this starts to dry, it will dry almost white. I couldn't believe it when I did it the first time. You do that all there. Pick up some of the details around the ears. And we're going to take some paint off the brush and let the brush suck back up some of the areas where there's too much paint. And so when this dries, again, I'll take a picture of it and post it on my social media. But then you'll end up with this really nice gray hair highlighted. It turns out fantastic. Again, I was shocked. I was like, it's not white, it's black. But so just trust the process, man, and just do it. If it says it's white, it's white. And so go here. And again, except it looks like it's dark. I love your clone trooper suit in the background. Yeah, 501st, yes. So yeah, it's a stormtrooper actually behind me, and it is. I used to be a member of the 501st Legion. I dropped out of it a few years ago, but yeah, it fits. I can take that off the mannequin and I can wear it. I usually put it on at Halloween, walk around the neighborhood in it. It's a lot of fun. And that, then you get the hair there. So just like that, so what have we been streaming here? 50 minutes. So in 50 minutes, I've got two Yoda figures that with just a little bit more detail, just finishing off the base, painting the lightsabers, a couple more details. Like these are totally ready for the battlefield, just like that. So I'm gonna let these dry and then I'm gonna go back to them and I'm gonna do a few more details. So the glasses here, I found these, I got these on Amazon. And so they actually have a little light on it as well to help you see, and the magnifying glass to really help bring up the details of the miniature because it really, really makes a difference. Like with these glasses on, I'll be able to get in here and just paint the eyes of this tiny, tiny little miniature here that way. So that really helps. So yeah, so I'm gonna stop that here, but I really appreciate everybody stopping by. I'll continue working on these, and then I will do an update of how these Grandmaster Yoda figures are doing in my YouTube shorts. And so you can check those out there. Again, if you don't subscribe to the channel, please consider doing so. Every like, every comment, every subscription really, really helps out. And again, I just appreciate all of you stopping by tonight and hanging out with me for a little bit as we geeked out painting Grandmaster Yoda. And then maybe next week we'll hit Obi-Wan Kenobi next week. Or oh no, you know what? I think maybe this one we'll do next week. If I'm feeling really, really brave, we'll do General Grievous next week. This miniature is epic. I just love him. It's like, oh, hello there. Kind of have them go at it. Anyway, not vroom, 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 like that. Anyways, until the next video, what should I say? God bless you, and we'll talk to you all again real soon. Take care, everybody.